In fintech, the most valuable companies are often the least visible. While consumer-facing apps grab headlines, long-term value is quietly built by infrastructure companies that power entire ecosystems behind the scenes. A well-known example is Plaid, a company that didn't chase hype, but instead focused on becoming essential plumbing for modern finance. At VenusVenture.us, even as a new firm, we believe the next wave of durable fintech winners will follow a similar path. Infrastructure first, hype second, or, maybe never. Infrastructure businesses rarely go viral, but they become indispensable. They succeed because they power dozens or even hundreds of other products, embed deeply into financial workflows, are difficult and costly to replace, and scale quietly across industries. Unlike consumer apps that must constantly fight churn, infrastructure companies grow through integration, not marketing. So, when people say the next Plaid, they aren't really talking about branding or even valuation. They're actually talking about positioning. We interpret it as companies that, sit between systems that have to communicate with each other, simplify complex financial processes, enable innovation for others instead of competing directly, and ultimately become the default solutions within workflows. These businesses don't dominate because of visibility, they dominate honestly by necessity. Consumer interfaces, well, they change quickly, but infrastructure, that changes slowly, and honestly, that's the whole point. So, at VenusVenture.us, we're, more interested in things like APIs, data pipelines, compliance and verification layers, payment and settlement rails, and, of course, risk identity and permissioning tools. These components, honestly, are foundational. When they're built well, they attract long-term customers and create recurring, predictable revenue. Infrastructure startups are frequently overlooked because, their products just aren't visually exciting, sales cycles tend to be longer, and growth, it feels slower at the beginning. But once embedded, they benefit from, high switching costs, strong customer retention and expansion through usage-based growth. This patience-heavy model, honestly, aligns well with long-term capital, not short-term speculation. As a new investment firm, VenusVenture.us evaluates infrastructure fintech through a disciplined lens. We look for teams that solve a fundamental system-level problem, understand regulation and compliance deeply, build for reliability over novelty, and design products that scale alongside customers. We pay close attention to how a product fits within existing ecosystems, not how loudly it disrupts them. Infrastructure companies operate in sensitive environments: finance, data, identity, compliance. Trust becomes their greatest asset. Startups that prioritize security, are transparent about limitations, and respect compliance requirements, those are the ones that really stand out. So, build reputations that compound over time. In infrastructure, trust is often more valuable than speed. Consumer fintech often rises and falls with sentiment. Infrastructure, however, benefits from long-term trends, like the digitization of finance, API-driven products, automation of compliance and reporting, and, data connectivity across platforms. These needs don't disappear in down markets, they actually become more important. So, as a new firm, we don't compete to chase every trend. Instead, we focus on really understanding systems and backing ideas with staying power. Infrastructure-first thinking aligns with our broader philosophy. It's really about disciplined evaluation, long-term relevance, and, predictable value creation. We believe the most important companies of the next decade won't be the loudest, but the most relied upon. Investing in the Next Plaid isn't about finding another headline startup. It's about identifying infrastructure businesses that quietly become essential. At venusventure.us, we believe that real innovation often happens behind the scenes, and that's exactly where the strongest opportunities live.